In Salem, New Hampshire, there is a hill where stone chambers, passageways, and massive slabs cut shadows across the trees. Locals once called it Mystery Hill. Today, it's known as America's Stonehenge. For decades, archaeologists and enthusiasts have argued over who built it and why. But when Dr. Hans Holzer arrived, he left with something very different. The impression of spirits, a heavy presence, and a warning to keep his family far away. This is Dr. Hans Holzer's America's Stonehenge case, the haunting of Mystery Hill. The site covers about 30 acres of perplexing stone chambers, cut passages and rock walls. There's even a standing circle aligned with the sun and stars. To some, it looks like New England's answer to Stonehenge. Archaeologists argue that much of it is simply colonial-era farm work, mixed with later modifications, evidence of ancient Europeans crossing the ocean. Carbon dating proves Native American presence in the region thousands of years ago, but obstinate mainstream scholars reject the idea of Celtic druids or Phoenician sailors building this hilltop maze. Still, the debate keeps the site alive, drawing both skeptics and believers. Dr. Hans Holzer was not there to argue over who created the megaliths. He came to do what he called psychic archaeology, bringing mediums to archaeological sites and listening for impressions of the past. At Mystery Hill, the medium described a deep, oppressive atmosphere. They felt the presence of ancient figures, not colonial farmers, but people from long before. The air turned cold as they stood among the chambers, and some investigators reported a sensation of being watched from the shadows between the stones. There were also disembodied noises. Knocking sounds and faint voices were reported near the stone chambers. Dr. Holzer believed the hill carried lingering personalities without bodies, and he treated it as a place of extreme discontent. Over the years, Mystery Hill has attracted more than just Dr. Holzer's case files. Fringe theories describe the great stone slab with its carved channels as a sacrificial altar. Others point to the alignments with the sun and moon, theorizing that it was built as an ancient observatory. Some even link the hill to UFO landings. These legends don't appear in Holzer's own notes, but they show how the site has grown into a crossroads of archaeology, ghost stories, and alternative history. Dr. Holzer's involvement didn't end with impressions. Decades later, when his daughter Alexandra revisited the files for the Holzer Files TV program, she recalled her father warning the family to stay away from Mystery Hill. Dr. Holzer told his family to avoid Mystery Hill at all costs because of the negative energy he encountered there. Paranormal investigators visiting the site reported oppressive sensations, cold spots, and impressions of extreme hostility during their own sessions, which lined up with Holzer's conclusion that this was not just a haunted site, but one carrying something much darker. They called it an ancient evil. On one side, mainstream archaeologists insist the site is colonial stonework, with exaggerated claims piled on top. On the other side, visitors walk the grounds, point to the solstice alignments, and insist the stones hold deeper secrets. Dr. Holzer stood apart. He wasn't trying to prove Celtic voyages or disprove them. For him, the haunting wasn't in the stones themselves, but in the lingering spirits' voices that clung to them. Today, America's Stonehenge is both an archaeological attraction and a paranormal landmark. Tourists come for the history. Ghost hunters come for the atmosphere. Skeptics come to roll their eyes. But Dr. Hans Holzer left with something that still unsettles people. The sense that this was not just an ancient site, but a haunted one. So, what do you think? Was Mystery Hill just colonial stonework with a spooky reputation? Or was Dr. Holzer right when he said the hill carried a dark ancient presence that refused to leave? If you enjoyed this dive into Dr. Holzer's case files, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell. More true Holzer hauntings are on the way.